Ahead of WFT's First at 5, red flag warnings and brush fires. The UF weather team is tracking strong wind gusts that are fueling the flames.
Plus, a potent pollen season and the official start to spring is just still weeks away. The event's environmentalists say is a key factor in why this season is already so severe.
Plus, revving the engines, we're live at the Gainesville Raceway as thousands of fans have returned to gear up for another year of Gator Nationals. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
It's a windy day and our Forest Service officials say there is an increase in danger for fires. Welcome to WFT's First at 5. I'm Nick Diaz.
And I'm Alex Land. The winds picked up after Wednesday's storm dumped some much-needed rain on north central Florida. But with today's high fire danger, neighbors in north central Florida are being asked to stop any burning. That means avoiding open flames or sparks, keeping vehicles off dry grass, and properly disposing of flammable items like cigarettes. But the winds are not the only weather maker. Allergy sufferers are already feeling the effects of the recent high pollen counts.
We have live team coverage of the high school winds, cooler temperatures, and what's blooming with pollen season. Our Rhianan Beatrice is live with tips on how to combat pollen allergies. And the UF weather team is standing by, timing out the warm-up. But first, WFT's Sebastian Broche was in Bradford County, where several brush fires sparked, and why deputies believe a person may have started them.
Right now, several fires that broke out in Bradford County are under control. But now the sheriff's office is investigating after a witness spotted a man next to where some of the flames began to spread.
And I rode up about 50 yards before I called Rick, and I seen two more fires burning.
David Johnson was in the area of Southeast County Road 18 when the fires broke out Wednesday. He called the Bradford County Sheriff's Office, and shortly after, they sent out this Facebook post saying that a person on a blue bicycle was near one of the fires when it sparked, and they need help finding that person of interest. The fires broke out while wind gusts reached more than 40 miles per hour in north central Florida.
We're encountered with 3 different good-sized fires that were moving rather quickly due to the conditions of the weather.
Crews were back out in the area Thursday afternoon due to another day of high winds and the possible criminal element behind these fires. Division Chief Dylan Rogers explains why it's critically important for neighbors to be mindful of burning during these conditions.
Weather plays a huge role in containing and managing brush fires, wood fires, grass fires, and so that does make it challenging for our firefighters to mitigate and extinguish any fire that we may encounter.
Crews are asking north central Florida neighbors to avoid open flames or sparks because that's all it takes to start another fire. Reporting in Bradford County, Sebastian Broche, WUFT News.
Yesterday started up some pretty gusty winds. Today the wind wasn't quite as strong, but it still made it feel a little chilly. WUFT's Gancarz-Davies joins us now with the weather forecast.
Yes, we are still feeling the impact of those winds, currently around 11 miles per hour, but they're going to be decreasing as we continue into the evening. Right now, we have those clear blue skies ahead of sunset, hardly a cloud in sight, and those temperatures just below 70 degrees, but they're going to be decreasing as we look into the evening from those mid-60s through the 50s and into the mid-40s, even lower 40s as you look at those very early morning hours. The winds are going to be increasing, decreasing as we get into the evening. But if you continue to look at what's going on this weekend, we do have a lot of pollen coming in for us this weekend. So we're having a very high forecast for today and Friday and Saturday. So be aware you might be sneezing this weekend.
It's that time of year again in Gainesville, pollen season. WFT's Rhianan Beatrice has more on the pollen in north central Florida. Rhianan?
This time of year, it is not uncommon to see cars covered in a layer of yellow. Pollen allergies can have you feeling a little under the weather. You see it everywhere. On your car, on the ground, even in the water. Gainesville residents are not only seeing, but feeling the effects of pollen. Stay-at-home mom Graciela Hannon says her son has been affected the most by pollen in her family.
He gets the itchy, watery eyes, runny nose. His nose is always bright red because he rubs it all day.
Environmental horticulture agent Cynthia Nazario-Leary with the University of Florida Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences says this pollen season is caused by tree pollen carried by wind.
The male flowers, which carry the pollen, will let their pollen go out into the wind and get carried and hopefully land on a female flower.
It's too soon to tell if this season will be more severe.
What we have seen is that the temperatures are warming up. And when you look at the pollen counts over the last 30 days, there's definitely been an increase.
Nazario Leary encourages you to look at this season through a positive lens.
It is the way that we are able to be surrounded by the plants that we have. And this is the way that the trees reproduce.
Hannon's son seems to be taking this message to heart, despite his allergies.
He still likes to come out and play. Nothing's going to stop him from playing.
And so he'll climb until his heart is content. Tree pollen is expected to die down by the end of May. After that, we might see an emergence of grass pollen. Live in Gainesville, Rhianan, Beatrice, WUFT News.
Throughout the evening, your UF weather team will continue tracking the winds. You can see their latest forecast on WFT.org.
We're learning more about Wednesday's deadly home invasion shooting in Lake City. Investigators have identified the man shot and killed breaking into a home on Southwest Leslie Glen. They say 31-year-old Langston Skies got successfully into the home before he was shot. One of the adults in the home had a restraining order against him. No one else was hurt. Investigators say the case may fall under Florida's Stand Your Ground law.
Cedar Key is still rebooting their community after facing severe winds, floods, and storm surge from 3 hurricanes in 13 months. And the city is set to discuss how they can help residents. There will be a public workshop at City Hall tomorrow. From 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., city leaders will speak on available assistance for storm-damaged structures, recovery, and repairs.
Thousands of motorsports fans are descending on Gainesville starting today for the annual Gator Nationals drag race. WUFT's Emily Drelick is live from the Gainesville Raceway, where the action is already underway.
The energy was electric at the Gainesville Raceway today. The races just ended for today, but fans have been watching races for hours on this historic raceway for Gator Nationals. Today was the first day of a weekend full of drag racing. Hosted by the National Hot Rod Association, Gator Nationals is kicking off the 2025 Missions Food Drive Racing Series. This weekend will bring in over 100,000 fans, all watching pro racers burn rubber on the track. Elimination racing rounds start tomorrow, and finalists will race for glory on Sunday. You can buy your tickets for this weekend at the Gainesville Raceway website. All tickets come with a pit pass and free general parking. Live from the Gainesville Raceway, Emily Drelick, WUFT News.
Coming up when First at 5 returns, putting more restrictions on measures that go on Florida ballots. Why Republicans say the current system is broken and why Democrats disagree.
Plus, how Santa Fe College is working to make prom dreams come true without breaking the bank. Stick with us.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
After fierce political battles last year about abortion rights and recreational marijuana, Florida lawmakers are beginning to move forward with a proposal that would place additional restrictions on the ballot initiative process. The Republican-controlled House Government Operations Subcommittee approved a bill today that focuses on the critical process of gathering and submitting petition signatures to place measures on the ballot. Bill sponsor Jenna Persons Michaela says the process is broken with out-of-state money flooding into Florida to try to pass initiatives and paid petition circulators committing fraud.
This is our Constitution, and this is about the power of the people of Florida, and we need to get it right to protect the people of Florida and ensure we have integrity in the petition process.
But opponents, including Democrat Darrell Campbell, say the proposed restrictions would prevent citizens from trying to pass ballot initiatives when their wishes are ignored by the legislature. Examples of voter-approved initiatives in Florida include raising the minimum wage, allowing medical marijuana, starting the state's voluntary pre-kindergarten program, and preventing political gerrymandering.
Wildlife experts say in the past 20 years, we've lost a combined total of coastal wetland forests the size of Connecticut. WUFT's Nicole Borman is live in the newsroom to tell us about what this means for Florida's ecosystem.
That's right. Organizations like the Florida Climate Institute are educating the public about the lasting effect of climate change. I went to understand how people are learning to feel the world around them by using their senses.
Gainesville residents gather to learn about the changing world and find out how they can help improve their impact on the environment. David George Haskell, 2-time Pulitzer Prize finalist, explains how the tones of bird songs vary from local industrialization. They go from sounding like this to sounding like this. According to Haskell, these sounds are a lot more important than people recognize.
So a healthy coral reef is full of all kinds of sound. A degraded one is much, much quieter.
National Geographic photographer Max Stone, a Gainesville native, speaks on how he has seen the changes in his surroundings through his photography. One location he's grown up with is the mangroves, which he's seen turn into a ghost town.
And over the last 20 years, we've lost more than 500 square miles of these coastal wetland forests, which is about the size of Connecticut. And 270 square miles are disappearing each year.
Other negative effects are increase in saltwater and overblooming of algae that are pushing out the freshwater creatures.
So we certainly see it. It's just a matter of can we pay attention and truly grasp how this landscape will change.
Stone says he hopes that people will still stay curious about the world around them and understand how climate change affects them on a daily basis. Nicole Borman, WUFT News.
Prom goers won't have to break the bank to find a dress for this year's dance. Santa Fe College hosted a prom dress sale Wednesday for high school students. New and gently used dresses went for $25. Shoes and accessories varied in price. High school schooler Naomi Wilhelm says she enjoys the community moment the event brings.
A shared communal experience. You know, somebody else wore this and it was their special night, and now it's going to be yours, and I think that's really cool.
The event was made possible by a donor who gave away over 300 prom dresses. Proceeds will go to the Academy of Science and Technology and Santa Fe College Career Services Council.
We are tracking a weather system that's going to be impacting Florida this weekend. I'll time out the rain after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome back. I don't know about you two, but on my way into the studio today, my hair was blowing around like crazy because of this wind.
Yeah, Alex, and we did learn that there is actually a red flag warning in Marion County. Isn't that right, Ben?
Yes, that red flag warning means there are conditions very conducive to fires forming and spreading. That's low humidity and very gusty winds, but that warning is only until 6 p.m. We're going to be seeing those conditions make their way out of our region as humidity continues to increase. The air is getting a lot more wet. It's going to feel a lot warmer for us. I know a lot of people were enjoying those cool temperatures that we were feeling due to that. And those wind gusts currently in those upper teens are going to be decreasing as we get into the evening as well until they are below 10 miles an hour later today around 11 p.m. Yesterday is when we had very unusual wind conditions over the state of Florida, hitting peaks in those mid 40 miles per hour in Lake City and Gainesville. So if you were outside then, you would have been feeling like it was perhaps a tropical storm or something of that nature, not what you were expecting for your normal Wednesday. Currently, the skies are nice and clear, winds at 13 miles per hour, so we are still feeling that impact. But as the temperatures decrease this evening, we'll feel those winds decrease as we have sunset on the way in about an hour or so. Temperatures currently in those upper 60s, but as we look into the evening, they're going to be making their decrease. Our lows for tonight are going to be in those upper 30s, lower 40s, quite cool. Make sure you have a hat or jacket if you are leaving early in the morning tomorrow. Tomorrow day, we're having it increase in temperatures up to those mid 60s and then back down to those lower 50s after sunset. So our lows for tomorrow evening are going to probably be in those 40s. Currently, we are tracking a system that is making its way towards us here in Florida. This low pressure system is going to bring this cold front towards us. And Saturday afternoon, you have those rain impacts largely over in New Orleans, but heading towards the Panhandle. By Sunday early morning and making its way to the afternoon is when we are going to start to feel those rain impacts, and they're going to make their way through us. The most extreme rain is going to be up in Georgia and South Carolina, but stay tuned with your weather forecasters. We may have updates on the conditions that you can expect to see on Saturday and Sunday. In terms of rainfall totals, we're looking at less than half an inch, about a quarter inch here in Gainesville. So it's not an abundant amount of rain, but it is going to be impacting our weekend if you're spending time outside. Saturday, our highs are in the mid 70s as that rain begins to creep in, and Sunday just a couple degrees cooler as most of the day is going to have those rainy skies, perhaps even some storms. Looking at our 7-day outlook, there is a slight dip after those rains come in Sunday, and it's going to be stormy, and we're losing an hour of sleep. Very grumpy weekend if you're
Coming up in sports, we'll have the latest on Gator football's first day of spring practice and perhaps some concerning news regarding quarterback DJ Lagway. We'll dig into all that and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to another Thursday of sports. I'm Ethan Eibe. Spring has sprung and the pads are back on for the first day of Gators football spring practice. Billy Napier spoke to the media earlier today and revealed that quarterback DJ Lagway will be in limited throwing activities due to a lower body injury. After finishing last season with an 8-5 record and a victory in the Gasparilla Bowl, Napier's expectations in his 4th season at the helm are high.
We certainly have high expectations. In no way are we satisfied with where we're at. We've got a ton of potential. This group has been impressive to me so far, so we're excited to work with them.
WUFT's Daniel Haviv is live outside the Heavener Football Complex. Daniel, it's great to see the Gators back out in the sunshine.
Ethan, it's a beautiful day outside for Gators football to return to the practice field. Just a few hours ago, right behind me here at the football complex, Gators football had their first day of spring practice. Now, DJ Lagway was said to be limited on his throws and his possessions. There may not be an injury there, but they obviously don't want to linger previous injuries and keep him healthy for the upcoming season. Now, Billy Napier also spoke earlier about how he isn't content with the team quite yet. Obviously, the work has to be put in. A lot of staff adjustments have been made, and they do have a young roster with a lot of guys coming out of high school. Now, Gators football will take the field again this Saturday morning for their second day of spring practice, with the orange and blue game looming in the distance in early April. Reporting live outside of the Heavener Football Complex, Daniel Haviv, WUFT Sports.
Florida men's basketball earned yet another statement win last night at Alabama. It's the Gators' second top 10 road win of the season, the first time that's ever happened in program history. Let's get you the highlights. Starting things off early in the second half, Gators down 2, but not for long. Off the Alabama miss, Gators transition quickly, and Will Richards slams it to tie it up at 52 apiece. And with just under 9 to go, Gators grab the loose ball. Walter Clayton Jr. with a lob to Alex Condon. He puts it in. Florida up a dozen, 73-61. And right after that, the slam party continuing for the Florida Gators. Clayton once again to Condon. He puts it home, 75-63. He might be the man from down under, but he gets that one right over the top. Condon finishing with a career-high 27 points in this one. Just under 5 to go, it's the CNC Slam Factory at it yet again. One more time to Condon. There you have it. Clayton to Condon, Gators up 11, 82-71. Not to be outdone, here comes Elijah Martin with 3.5 to play. A one-handed jam at the rack, 87-76. Alabama did continue to keep it close, though. Bama drew it to within 6, but make that 4 with the Mark Sears floater at the cup, 98-94. But Florida would hold on to win it after all, 99-94. The final score, it's the 4th win over an AP top 25 opponent this season for the Gators, and the number 2 seed is in their hands for next week's SEC tournament. Florida ends the regular season at home against Ole Miss on Saturday. Staying with the hardwood, Gator women's basketball defeated Auburn Wednesday night in the SEC tournament's first round. Florida had 4 players with double-digit scoring efforts, including Rashea Kyle, who led the way with 16. She racked up 11 rebounds to earn her 14th double-double of the season. Florida did most of its damage with 36 points in the paint, thanks to Liv McGill's team-leading 8 assists. The Gators face Alabama in the second round tonight in Greenville. The tilt with the Tide is set for 8:30. Gators baseball walked the tightrope with Florida Atlantic in their midweek matchup Wednesday night. UF got it done 4-2 with a great effort from the back end of the bullpen. Colby Shelton got the scoring started in the bottom of the first with an RBI double. Blake Sirwanapo tacoed a right for his second home run of the year, and Brody Dene added on his 7th homer of the season in the 8th to give Florida the insurance it needed. The Gators snapped a 2-game skid and improved to 12-2 on the season. They'll be back at Condren Ballpark all weekend long for a 3-game set with Harvard. And finally, some pending inclement weather has moved up the schedule for the Gators Invitational Golf Tournament this weekend. The Gators will now play 36 holes on Friday and 18 on Saturday at Mark Bostic Golf Course.
Ethan, I got to tell you, I'm not the best golfer there is, but I was planning on going to the pool with a couple friends this weekend. Ben, is that in jeopardy?
Well, it's good they moved the golf tournament off of Sunday because there is going to be a good amount of rain on Sunday, and with us losing an hour of sleep, I don't know if those players would have been at their best. The rest of the week, we're going to see that rain go away until those temperatures climb just above 80 degrees on Wednesday. Our lows are going to be climbing as well from those upper 30s all the way up till 60.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and all of our social media platforms. Have a good night.